Sports Call every Saturday. If you'd like to partner with us as an advertiser or a promotional partner, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
The following has been produced by Talk Football LLC. Former Florida Gators quarterback, NFL quarterback, and NFL head coach. Coach K. Stevenson has a resume second to none, and now he's sharing his insider information with you. Talk Football with Coach K starts right now on ESPN Pensacola.
And welcome into Talk Football with Coach K. JP here with you alongside former NFL coach K. Stevenson. Well, Coach, we've got a lot to talk about today on this Friday afternoon between the XFL, the NFL, a little NCAA action, just so much to talk about. Let's go ahead and, Coach, how are you doing today on this Friday afternoon?
I'm doing great. Look forward to getting into some of these things. Tell you, of great interest is what's going on with the XFL, what's going on with the quarterback situation in the National Football League, soon to be a huge quagmire, if you will. And we'll talk about that and how it will affect different teams, and just an awful lot to get to, and we also keep an eye on the recently finished recruiting in college, and we know some people have done a great job there. Florida State, to mention two, and there are plenty of others at Alabama as always, and I think LSU coming back from about 15 or 16 to fourth. There's just so many things to try to get to and get some substance in that we won't have time to do it all today, but we'll give it our best.
Yeah, that's the thing about this down here in Pensacola, Coach. We have a bevy of sports fans. No matter if you like NFL or whatever, we have the Falcons, the Saints. A lot of people love it around here, even some Bucks fans. Shout out to Davis Allen over there. When you look at college, of course, college rules all down here in the South. We know that. When you're talking about Auburn, Alabama, Florida State, LSU, Coach, you name it. I mean, and we got UWF in our own backyard right here. You know, we got a lot of UWF fans now. The fan base is growing after the championship.
And UWF had a good year as well. I didn't mention, but they've had a good year recruiting.
Yeah, that's another thing. When you look at this staff, Coach Shinnick and what they've done year in and year out, they always have these Division I transfers like we hear in the transfer portal, but they have some guys right here locally, but they continue to put the talent on the field. And let's make this obvious, Coach. It's not that easy when you're fighting teams like Alabama and stuff to get these recruits. So what Shinnick and them have done now, it's phenomenal. We give all the respect to that coaching staff and those players of what they've done this past year and what they've done since the program started. Like Chad said, he remembers being down there at Seville for the first year. They didn't even have a field. They didn't know what they were going to do yet. And those guys signed. And to see what that program's turned into is awesome. Coach, on that note of recruiting, though, I do want to mention this because it's a big deal. South Carolina fans, we don't have too many of them around here, but they confirmed signing the 5-star defensive tackle Jordan Birch. He's from Columbia, South Carolina, hometown kid, 6'5", 275. This was a big-time recruit. He was number 8 overall recruit, number 1 in South Carolina. He had rumored, because on National Signing Day, he did not submit his letter of intent like they said, or they thought he was going to do. A lot of people, he went and visited LSU late. They thought that maybe that swayed him. That's the reason he didn't turn it in. Also, a lot of Clemson chatter out there. Of course, Clemson battling South Carolina. Big rivalry right there. But they thought maybe he was going to sign with Clemson. Gamecock fans got really scared. But this is a bright spot for them. This Jordan Birch kid, he is something special. And I tell you what, for South Carolina, this is a big move, Coach. I know that, again, we don't have a lot of South Carolina fans here. But for a team in general, it's big time to get a kid that is a hometown kid, a 5-star recruit. It means so much to your program just to keep him right there.
Yeah, it does, and South Carolina will be a little better this year. It's as we all recognize, it's going to be very difficult for them to compete with the upper level of the SEC, but they're always dangerous, And they get a couple of kids like that, it makes them even more dangerous.
One thing I do, just running through some news here, FAU confirms the addition of Clemson transfer TJ Chase. It's a wide receiver. He was a 4-star guy. He's a grad transfer, so he'll be immediately eligible. And that's interesting because, Taggart goes from FSU to FAU. He's gotten 4 guys now. FSU's DeMarcus Adams, a wide receiver. Got another defensive end, Malcolm Lamar, that followed him over there. And then a wide receiver from Duke that's got him that's transferred over there as well. So maybe he's making a little noise. Good for Taggart. We wish him all the best. But for FAU, good luck over there. I mean, Lane Kiffin did a really good job. Indiana running back Ronnie Walker entered transfer portal. This guy was a 3-star. He was a number 19 running back overall in the 2018 class. The reason I mentioned, transfer portal is because we see it all too often down here. We see guys that they transfer. We know LSU's looking for guys now. FSU's looking for guys. There's so many options there for them, but this is somebody that we could be hearing, coming soon. Just throwing that out there for you people. One thing, Alabama fans, you got a new defensive line coach, Freddie Roach. He's a former player. I remember watching Freddie Roach. He's been coaching Ole Miss, the defensive coordinator, the past 3 years, or defensive line coach, past 3 years. And he was with Bama in 2015 and 16. He was a director of player development at Alabama. Just some Alabama news for you right there. Coach, I want to jump in. This is something that he's a really good friend of yours. Jim Haslett has officially been named the inside linebacker coach for the Titans. Over 24 years NFL coaching experience. Just, and we've talked to him on the show, Coach. You know the knowledge he has, but just listening to him, this is a tremendous pickup for the Titans.
Well, it is. It's more so than most people realize. The fellow they had there, the guy they had there,
Dean Pease.
As I mentioned to you, is really a nice guy, super guy. Just had some difficulty with his defenses from time to time, his time in the league. And with Jim coming in and Vrabel taking a more active part, and they see eye to eye. Vrabel was drafted and played under Jim for 3 years, so it's really a lot of his system. Jim, I would venture to guess, is going to be the de facto. He'll be the de facto defensive coordinator, and will insert an awful lot of prestige and strategy to that defense. So I think it's a real pickup for him, and maybe in the long run a good loss.
Yeah, and Coach, when you look at it, Vrabel has come out and said he's going to call defensive plays. No replacement has been made for Dean Pease yet. A lot of people don't believe that there will be one. If there is one, it will be kind of a step back role there at that defensive coordinator position. It's interesting. Look, I like Vrabel taking over the defense. I believe he knows exactly what he wants. Bringing Haslett in, Hazlett's the guy that drafted him. He knows him well. These guys are going to be on the same page. As a Titans fan, I will say I'm getting excited, more and more excited after the better season we had. Things are getting better. Moving on, the NFL Players Association, Coach, we talked about this last week. The 17-game rule. They were going to come in and say, all right, we're going to play 17 games now. The big money has a lot to do with this. Well, they had an 8-hour meeting yesterday, and they have no decision right now. It kind of seems that everybody's stalling. Coach, I've asked you this before, but do you see the 17-game schedule? Is that going to happen anytime soon?
Yeah, I think so. And they'll do away with 2 of the preseason games. That'll be the trade-off, and they'll get it done one way or the other. Of course, what the players are going to do, they're going to hold out as long as they can for as much compensation for that extra game as they possibly can get, and they'll have that some way, somehow, in a formula added on to their present salaries. And I mean, that's just going to happen. They got to get ready for it. I think in the long run it's a good move. The only thing that I think people have to be aware of is that if they play the extra game and do away with 2 preseason games, it's going to hurt the young people coming into the league. That first training camp meant an awful lot to rookies coming in. They not only had to learn the system, which is very complicated, much more detailed and intricate than would be any college system, and then they have to get acquainted with players, have to get acquainted with the speed of the game and it takes time. How many can come in there and do it in an exposure time as short as that's going to be and then be ready to play? I think it's going to be debatable, and it's also, don't think it's not going to weigh heavy on coaches' minds when they get down to that final cut, even before. And they said, what's the best chance we have to win this opening ball game, first two ball games or whatever? And they're going to look very favorably at the guys who have been there, have been in the league, and less favorably at rookies coming in. And rightfully so. Now, whether they have some means to get them back at some point, I don't know. But I will tell you this, with the XFL is going to have some excellent young players coming out of the NFL now, because if they do lessen those two, drop those two preseason games, something to think about. It's gonna really hurt those kids, and it's gonna help the XFL.
That is a good point, because when you talk about the XFL, and we'll get into it after the break here, but the XFL, they have some star power, not really the star power, of course, when you look at the NFL, but you're not going to compete with the NFL. The NFL is who it is. It's that monster that nobody's going to be able to take down. They're at the top of the pedestal. I don't think the XFL is trying to compete with the NFL, because it's a different time period. Let's make that very clear. The XFL is important for a lot of players here to get that, like you said, Coach, that opportunity to get your chance in the NFL. And I think that's a really good point that nobody's brought up, is if they move this game and they get rid of those two preseason games, that is going to make things a lot easier for the XFL getting some of these guys.
Yeah, it is, and you have to look at this. Now, let's look at it as a whole. If you're involved in the XFL, or you were gonna be involved in the XFL, and they look at the market, we're going to play in the spring. We've got proof, positive, that there is a demand for football in the spring, and there is. There have been a couple of leagues that, had they had the stability, would have made it big, but because of lack of funding, egos, pride of authorship, all the other things that drag you down, that's what happened to them. This is not that. This is not the case with the XFL. They have 3 networks already signed in to do games. They have escrowed 5 years of expenses based on what they have now flushed out as yearly expense. So they're not going to be hurting at all, financially or otherwise. And of course, what really makes them are those TV contracts. That's just that's lightning in a bottle. Now, the other thing that you have to look at is, will there be people available, and at what level do we want to be as a league? Well, you want to play as good a football as you possibly can, but what we're looking at, you have to be able to identify that niche, and there is a niche out there. And if you can get into that niche, you're going to be successful. And that's what I see happening here. There's an abundance of players right now and coaches out there, and I'm happy for them, because they'll have jobs. And then there are going to be many more that are going to be coming out. We just talked about the NFL attrition rate what it's going to be. And also, as we talk about the quarterbacks, add in with the quarterback controversy that's going to go on, and the influx of quarterbacks coming into the league this year. And I'm saying the ones, when you look at 5 or 6 that are going to be coming in out of college, they'll all be going to different teams. At least 4 or 5 are going to have, at least 4 are going to have a chance to start. So that's going to move somebody out of a slot. And then you got the guys in the league that are available for free agency, including some of the best that have ever played. So there's going to be quite an upheaval of NFL quarterbacks this year, which is going to percolate to the some of that will percolate over to the National Football, the XFL. So keep in mind there are a lot of things going on right now going to make it a very viable exercise in football.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's interesting just to see this XFL. I'm ready to get it started because of all the excitement we've had with it. It's fun. I think it's going to be, like we've said before, Oliver Luck has said it has nothing to do with the old XFL, except it's the same name right there. When you look at this XFL, of course, we'll go over this more in detail when we come back, but, I mean, you got football on Saturday and Sunday, games at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock both days. The big networks, ABC, Fox, and ESPN, hold these guys. That's the money makers, like you said, Coach. It's going to be a lot of fun to see this not just hit the ground running, which I believe they will, but continue to evolve, because that's what as we get along, the more, I guess, people that you grab, not just fans like us, but players see this, and they see what's going on there. They see guys that get their opportunities to go play in the NFL or whatever it may be. Those guys that didn't get a chance before, be able to make a name for themselves. And in the XFL, there's going to be a lot of really good players that you had no idea who they were, and that's the point of this league right here.
You betcha that's going to happen. You know, one thing real quick here. People may wonder why use that XFL based on what they did before with it, because it was just the approach prostituted football, basically. That's not going to be the case. The reason for using it, I understand, from a marketing standpoint, it was the most recognizable, catchy name they could put out there for people to say, at least let's take a look. Okay, so XFL, well, be it what it is. I mean, that's Madison Avenue marketing.
Yeah, it's smart. I mean, when we heard about the XFL, everybody's ears perked up like, okay, you raise your eyebrows like, all right, let's give this another go here. But, all right, look, Coach, we're up against a break here. Listen, when we come back, we're going to break down some more XFL stuff for you. The quarterback carousel in the NFL, the deals going on, maybe what could happen, some interesting things. And when one happens, the dominoes are going to fall. So be sure to come right back with us. You're listening to Talk Football with Coach K here on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 991 FM.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Sometimes your bank, your family, and your friends love you, but they don't have the money to help you. Sometimes we have chances to make money, but the old saying, you've got to have money to make money, rings true. At Pensacola Specialty Pond, we can help. If you have trucks, heavy equipment, airplanes, boats, jet skis, anything with value, Pensacola Specialty Pond can loan you that short-term money you need. No credit checks, and at Pensacola Specialty Pond, you're going to find the money and the discretion you need.
Now at 6428 Pensacola Boulevard, north of Car City. Call 432-9050, 432-9050.
This human resources professional is crushing it, thanks to Kronos. And this is his hype song.
I've got HR, payroll, talent, and time.
I'm on the top, I'm gonna rise up. Now we are
engaging all the best people.
Blast off to the front of the field. This is
Kronos, HR solutions for the modern workforce. Learn more at kronos.com/HR swagger.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
At AutoZone, we've got great deals for you to get more out of your ride. Right now, buy one bottle of Gum Out Regain Complete Fuel System Cleaner and get one free. And if you're dealing with a pesky check engine light, check out our free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help you troubleshoot the likely issue and drive with peace of mind. Getting the job done just got easier. Visit AutoZone.com to get started. Restrictions apply.
There's only one name in town when it comes to afternoon local sports talk. The Sports Drive with Chad Brilliante.
Some athletes don't want to be given... nobody does. Now, look, when you play with your pops as it gets older, one of the most embarrassing things... My daughter's 3. I just slam it right in her face right at the play school hoop. Like right there, like I'm Zion Williamson.
The games, the players, the fans. ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
You can watch Coach K talk football live right now on our YouTube channel at ESPN Pensacola 1330.
And welcome back into Talk Football with Coach K. JP here with you, alongside former NFL coach Kay Stevenson. Coach, I want to go ahead and get into this quarterback carousel that we have right now in the NFL. I think it's interesting. You brought up a lot of good points. Look, we're hearing now, and this is something that you brought up weeks ago, Tom Brady to Dallas seems to make more sense. We're hearing it on the big networks like ESPN and stuff now. With Jerry Jones being as quiet as he has during this whole thing, that may be something that's in the works, whether they trade him or maybe they just don't re-sign Dak Prescott and bring Brady in. And it's a good move for Dallas because, like we've said, they're ready to win now. They need a quarterback. They're on the cusp right now of being really good. They're in a weaker division, so it gives them an opportunity to take hold of that. Coach, and one thing, too, that you mentioned was, listen, all it's going to take is one of these guys to go, and then the dominoes are going to fall when we have all these other quarterbacks. I want to bring it back to you, though, with Brady to Dallas. It just makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense, but we are not saying that that's going to happen. Right now it's all just speculation. It's throwing something out there, taking a look at it, and they're certainly doing that now. ESPN, a number of the national commentators and so on, they're all looking at what's going on in Dallas. Now, Zach Prescott he's a good kid. Number one, he's a good guy, and he's a good quarterback. Is he a great quarterback? No, he's not a great quarterback. He's a good quarterback. Jerry Jones, one thing he wants in life is to win a Super Bowl before he's incapacitated in some way or gone. And what's the best way to do that? If you're Jerry Jones with that overriding everything else, and you look around and you say, Tom Brady, the best that ever played, 6 championships, 6 Super Bowl championships, 9 times to the game. I could put him under my center with this offensive line, with the running back I've got now. Keep our receiver. I can afford to pay him and do whatever we need to do to bring in whomever else. And we've got a good defense. We got a chance with him as our quarterback to win the Super Bowl. Now, if you don't think that hasn't gone through the mill out there with Jerry, his son, anybody else involved in football out there, you're crazy, because it has. Whether it's going to happen, we certainly don't say it is going to happen, and we don't know. But it would be interesting. That's an interesting scenario. And then what would happen to Dak Prescott? I don't know. My guess is that he would be, by some teams, he would be a wanted quarterback, and they could work some type trade out. They wouldn't get the moon for him by any stretch, but they could get something. Tom Brady gives them a couple of years, 2 to 3 years, and all Jerry Jones wants is a Super Bowl. So I think it's a possibility. I've talked about the possibility with the Titans. Ready-made situation with Tennessee. He could step in. They've got an excellent young football team, and he could step in there and have the surrounding cast that he needs to go win a Super Bowl. And also, I think another interesting place is Indianapolis with the Colts. As I look at that football team, and here's what Brady's looking at, you can bet he's looking at every football team and what he would be playing behind, what type of offensive line, what type of protection would he get, who would the receivers be, the running backs, do they have a running game, do they have a defense, can they stop some people, is he going to have to outscore everybody, okay? And the other thing with the Colts, you're going to be playing in a dome, which makes it that much better, certainly at his age. So the Colts answer most of those questions. And with Tennessee, for the most part during the year, he's going to get good weather there, not like Boston weather, for example. So there are a few things that make sense. People keep throwing the Chargers in there. I don't see the Chargers as realistic as the ones we've talked about, but I suppose there's always a chance there. And then, like you said, once that happens, if that happens, once it does happen, then the dominoes are going to fall. And look at what's going to happen this year with all the influx of quarterbacks and with the quarterback carousel going on. And you've got 5 quarterbacks that are going to be coming into the league. We know 3 to 4 of them are going to be first-round picks who will probably come in and start right away, meaning Cincinnati and wherever. So, gosh, there's going to be a lot of turnover, and once again, that's going to be a plus for the XFL.
Coach, when you look at this, right now the free agent tracker, Drew Brees is a guy that's on here, and that's a guy that we believe New Orleans is going to keep him around. He's not going anywhere.
No, he's already said it's New Orleans or retire.
Right.
And he'll be back at New Orleans, I'm certain.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet with Drew Brees, and you wouldn't want it any other way after watching him. But just for what he's meant to that city as well, after all the turmoil and things they've been through. Tom Brady, of course, is the top of the list here. You have Phillip Rivers, and Phillip Rivers is a guy that we've saw decline quite a bit. I mean, this is it's a guy that he's been good. I mean, he's been a good quarterback for a lot of years, but he just lately, it seems like he is dropped off quite a bit. I mean, I don't know if he's a guy that I would want to go after right now after watching last season with him. Sometimes he just threw it up. I mean, and Chad said it before. He looks like a T-Rex sometimes throwing a football. Just that short arm kind of throw it up. He doesn't have the arm strength he used to have.
Yeah, he does not throw a football. He pushes the football. And that's always been the ugliest thing I've ever seen on a quarterback. But he's been effective, and you wouldn't trade anything for that. But I tell you this, it may be that I don't think he's fallen off the cliff yet.
Right.
I think he can still play, and there have been years where certain teams would be very, very happy to have him come in. So we'll see what happens. Somebody's going to want him.
Yeah, see, I mean, you have Phillip Rivers. Teddy Bridgewater's the guy that helped himself a lot with New Orleans when Drew Brees went out with injury, doing a great job with them. So he's kind of revamped himself. People can see that he can play now. I don't know if he is a top-tier guy yet, but you know what? He won. That's the one thing, is you want a winner when you look at quarterbacks. Another guy that makes you shake your head because of the potential that he has, but then he goes out and he makes some boneheaded plays, Jameis Winston. He's got a big arm, throws for a lot of yards, but at the same time, when you're part of the 30-30 club, that doesn't work in the NFL. It's not a good thing. And then the last guy, a guy that, I mean, I like him being an Oregon fan, Marcus Mariota, but it was time for him to get out of Tennessee, go out and maybe go. We've heard with the Bears, we've heard a lot of opportunities that people are looking for him. Going to be interested to see where he goes. But I think with Brady, Coach, like you said, all it's going to take is for one. If the Cowboys sign Brady, this whole thing is going to spin out of control. There's going to be so many quarterbacks moving left and right here. Not only that, Dak Prescott, what's going to happen with him? Then you were talking about Joe Burrow coming into the league this year. You've got Tua coming into the league this year, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love, Jake Fromm. You've got all these guys that are coming into the league this year. So a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of teams, of course, are looking for quarterback help. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. But, Coach, I want to go back to Brady real quick. When you talk about Dallas, Indianapolis, Tennessee, and the Chargers, what out of those four teams do you think, if Brady was to go there right now, is ready to win a Super Bowl next year? Is there one of those teams that's ready right now? They're just a quarterback away? Or if you had to pick one, where would you pick for him to go win a Super Bowl next year?
I think he'd have an excellent chance. There are no guarantees, certainly, in football in the National Football League. But I think he would have the best opportunity with either Dallas or Tennessee.
Yeah.
That would be my suggestion. But, and then you got to look at, when we talk about these college kids coming in to the league, see, I think there's no question that Burrow comes in and starts right away at Cincinnati, so that's going to put the redhead on the streets, okay? And then you got Tua. Wherever he goes, I can almost assure you he's going to be the starter, unless he's got an injury that is more than we know at this time.
Right.
But I really think he'll be the starter. I'm not so sure about Herbert and Fromm both. Listen, they could both be starters. So look out. I mean, if they do, wherever they go, and if they become starters, somebody's going to be pushed out of there. Could be a huge quarterback. It'll be a melee.
Well, Coach, one thing that I've seen, too, in some of these, of course, the mock drafts we see, they're nothing but just a mock draft. We have no idea. Things change. Teams trade up. Things that we have no control over. We have no idea what's going to happen within these organizations. I tell you, this is something that makes sense. If Brady goes back to the Patriots for 2 years, I've seen where if that happens, if Brady stays with the Patriots would look to draft Jake Fromm. That's interesting just because Fromm could be a guy, that the Patriots like a lot, and it would give him a couple years to sit behind Brady, learn that system. I think that would be a good move on their part. Now, I know they need wide receiver help. They need some help. I get that part. But, Coach, do you think if Brady stays, and these are all hearsays, but I'm just interested to get your take on this. If Brady stays, do you go quarterback just to go ahead and try? If you like Jake Fromm, if you like him now, to kind of solidify your future, maybe that's your guy you believe in?
Nope. First thing they've got to do is get Brady help. I mean, that will either be the case or he'll be gone. Period.
Right.
So the first thing they've got to get the best possible, most talented receiver / tight end in the draft, and that they feel, and they got to get him, even if they have to move up and sacrifice some of their other draft picks, which they don't like to do. They desperately hate to do that. I mean, that's not a Belichick move, but they've got to get him some help, period. And no, I wouldn't think about taking any. I mean, the worst thing you could do is bring Brady back and draft a quarterback with first pick.
It's almost like a slap in the face.
That's almost like a slap in the face, yeah. So, no, I don't see that happening.
Well, just to mention a couple of, we talk about the free agency, the big free agent receivers. Right now, A.J. Green, of course, A.J. Green sat out this year. He had an injury with Cincinnati. He could have came back. It was one of those when they named Finley was going to be the starter. A.J. Green was like, yeah, you know what? I think my back's not feeling good. I'm going to go ahead and sit out the rest of the year. Emmanuel Sanders, we just watched him with San Francisco. He has the potential to be a free agent. Devin Funchess, a guy with Indy. Amari Cooper, that would be a guy. That with Dallas, if they don't re-sign Amari Cooper, now that's their star receiver. I know they have Michael Gallup, but Michael Gallup is not a number one right now. Amari Cooper's a guy that if you're the Patriots, there's no better receiver to go out and get than a guy like that.
Listen, he is one of the things one of the attractions that Dallas will use if they want Brady at Dallas, that'll be one of the attractions. Will be him, and they'll probably add to that. They'll give him the assurance they're going to add to that, which they can do. Now they can sign. They'll have the money to bring Brady in and to sign the receiver, and then go out and draft another very talented receiver / tight end type player, and could really be attractive to Brady. So I think you may have hit on something there too.
It's funny because the Patriots, when you look at it, and we hear talks that they're talking to Gronk, and of course Belichick was at his party down there doing his recruiting and dressed up in style down there to try to persuade him a little bit, keep him in the news. But if you get Amari Cooper and you get Gronk back, that the Patriots now, you're talking about going out and win another Super Bowl, and I don't know if it would be that close anymore, because you've got Julian Edelman, Amari Cooper, Gronk in the middle. I know, once again, these are hearsays. And, Coach, not to mention, there's a guy available right now by the name of Danny Amendola. That might be a guy that Tom would like to have back after this year without him. But a lot of interesting facts, and that's the part that I love so much about this. We can break things down, and who knows what's going to happen. Of course, when the draft happens, a lot of stuff will happen after that. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But, Coach, we're up against a break real quick. I do want to get back into this because there is a lot of interesting free agents. And it's one of those things that I think wherever Brady goes, there will be some talent to follow. But we're going to break down some more of the XFL as well with the lineup we have and the schedule coming up on Saturday and Sunday. You're listening to Talk Football with Coach K here on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 991 FM.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
This is what Flo from Progressive sounds like in one of our many hilarious commercials.
Hi! Did you know that you can get a quote on your motorcycle insurance in under 3 minutes at Progressive.com? And did you know that saying hi makes even bad news sound good? Hi! You have high cholesterol! Hi! You're fired!
And this is what that same commercial sounds like on your motorcycle.
Hi! There's no more tank!
Yeah, even our commercials sound better on a bike. And with basic policy starting at $75 a year, Progressive helps keep you on yours. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Annual premium for basic liability policy not available in all states.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn.
On winning teams, every player brings their unique strength and has an impact on the results. For Kevin McHale, that meant coming off the bench for the Boston Celtics. Of his almost 1,000 career games, he only started 400 of them. Yet McHale helped lead the Celtics to 3 NBA championships, played in 7 All-Star games, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
You wouldn't draft a point guard to play center, right? It's the same thing as when you're going to hire your next teammate. LinkedIn will match the right talent with your open roles fast. Post a job and you'll get great candidates with the right mix of skills, interests, and experience. So every hire you make is a win for your business. Go to linkedin.com/sports and get $50 off your first job post. That's linkedin.com/sports. linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
You can watch Coach K talk football live right now on our YouTube channel at ESPN Pensacola 1330.
Welcome back to Talk Football with Coach K. JP here with you alongside former NFL coach Kay Stevenson. Well, Coach, we're going to turn it over to some XFL news. We broke down a little bit of the NFL stuff. I do want to get back to that in a little bit, but with XFL starting this weekend, so tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, you talk about the star power of this league. There's some really interesting coaches when you go into this. I want to start with Dallas. The Dallas Renegades, they're the favorite to win the league, according to Vegas, whatever that's worth. But when you look at this roster, you kind of understand. But when you look at this, Bob Stoops being the head coach, an offensive coordinator, Coach, that I know you have some comments about as well, Hal Mumme. This guy is he's one of the innovators of the air raid. Of course, I know you have a little bit more on him, but this is a guy that it's going to be interesting to see him run his offense here in the XFL.
Well, that's to say the least. My gosh, I'm sure that people will be tuned in if they know anything about Hal Mumme's background. You know, from Valdosta State, I guess, to Kentucky, and but here's a guy who offensively believes he throws the ball about 90% of the time, and does not punt on fourth down. He doesn't believe in punting on fourth down. Now, I'm sure Stoops is going to make some of these decisions, but such as when we're going to punt. Yes, we are going to punt, but this is Hal Mumme, totally open football. He even tells the defense, if you're getting beat, hurry up and let them go score and get us the ball. Let us get the ball back. So anyway, a little different than most are accustomed to, but they're supposed to be one of the better teams. We will have a much better feel once we've had a chance to look at some of these first games and get a little better look and feel. Talk to some people about this league, but it's very interesting. It'll be good football. It'll be true football like we're used to seeing, and you're going to have some good players out there. I think you had mentioned that Dallas also will have Landry Jones, quarterback from Oklahoma, Stoops quarterback, so he'll be there quarterbacking and he'll do a good job, and certainly having the confidence of the head coach and a system, I'm sure, that's tailor-made to his talents and also he's familiar with. That helps a heck of a lot. So it should be interesting from that standpoint.
Yeah, when you look at it, Eric Dungy, a guy who was at Syracuse as well as the other quarterback for Dallas. But I think it's interesting, Coach, when you look at Bob Stoops and what they've done. It's almost one of these things, and I was telling you before we came back from break, was almost like Stoops was like, when you look at this Dallas roster compared to everybody else's, now things can change. We'll see what happens. But Bob Stoops knew what he wanted. He was going to get what he wanted here. He's got a heck of a team. They've got a lot of former NFL talent when you talk about running backs and stuff like that as well. It's going to be interesting to see this Dallas team. I think if Dallas doesn't win it, there'll be a lot of disappointment. Coach, I do want to talk about a couple of the other teams here, the DC Defenders. Pep Hamilton, this is a guy that you talk about for the players, a great opportunity for them moving forward and getting an opportunity to coach at a higher level. Well, Pep's been in the NFL a little bit. He's got 21 years of coaching experience. He hasn't had a head role, obviously, like he is the head coach of the DC Defenders. He's been offensive coordinator for the Colts from 2013 and 15. This is a guy who was an assistant head coach at the University of Michigan the past couple years. When you look at this is a guy that to get an opportunity. I just want to ask you, just like the players, we talk about them going out and showcasing their talents. Is it the same for the coaches here? Is this for some of these guys, especially these younger guys, an opportunity for them to maybe put their name up in that upper echelon?
Sure it is. And Pep Hamilton is a guy that we want to keep our eyes on. You know, there are a lot of people in the NFL that'll be keeping their eye on him. He really made his name out of Stanford out there and was an outstanding football coach. Became their offensive coordinator and was their offensive coordinator with when Andrew Luck was out there. Had some great offenses. He's noted for that. Now, I'm not sure what since he left Stanford, I'm not sure what his or how he's fared with the NFL. I know he's coached some in the NFL, but he's a good football coach and well-respected football coach. Someone who, for a long, long time, was certainly a coach on the rise. His stock was going up exponentially. So it'll be interesting to see how he does.
Yeah, it's notable to remember in 2014 with the Colts, he was the offensive coordinator whenever Andrew Luck was setting those passing records, or led the NFL with 40 passing TDs and passing and net yards as well. Worked with Andrew Luck, like you said, and Andrew Luck coming from Stanford. It's a guy that a lot of people respect, and a lot of people are rooting for him, as are we here, because it's such a cool opportunity to see a guy like that get the chance to go out there and be the head coach. Moving on, a guy that's interesting because he's been in the CFL for a while too. A guy that's prominent. This is what it says here. Prominent disciple of the run and shoot offense, coach. I'm sure you know who I'm fixing to get to. June Jones. He's known. I remember him as Hawaii's coach, just going out there with the shirt, the Hawaiian shirt, the lei, and everything. What's your take on June Jones here? Are you a June Jones fan?
Well, June has been around. He's coached, I guess, in every league, every football team. He's certainly been around. He's seen the elephant and heard the owl. So June is not just a disciple of it. He, if you remember, the so-called father of the run and shoot, the modern run and shoot, was a guy named Mouse Davis. Mouse was the head coach at Portland State, and his quarterback was June Jones. So June Jones was the first quarterback to use it, and then since then, he's been either a head coach. He was head coach of the Atlanta Falcons at one time. Head coach in other leagues. Head coach at the University of Hawaii. He's really been around, and now he's in this league. June's offense is, I'm sure most of the audience out there, you've seen or have some idea on the run and shoot, and it's a very effective offense. There are ways to shut it down, but you have to be very disciplined defensively and have to look at it, know what you're talking about to do it. But it gives most people a lot of trouble, and he is very good at it. He's one of the best. So I expect that he's going to be, if his quarterback can handle that system like Moon did and some others, he's going to be very successful. But we'll find out right away.
Yeah, I go back to, I remember the Hawaii quarterbacks, I believe it was Colt Brennan and Timmy Chang, going to setting records, with that run and shoot. Interesting offense. Yeah, you're right. There is ways to stop it, but it'll be exciting, especially for this league. Coach, moving on, the LA Wildcats head coach Winston Moss, but I want to get to two guys, the offensive and defensive coordinator. Of course, the offensive coordinator is Norm Chow. He's a well-respected guy. He had helped cultivate quarterbacks, including Jim McMahon, Steve Young, Phillip Rivers, Ty Detmer, Carson Palmer, Matt Leinart. Most recently was the offensive coordinator for the Titans in 05 and 07. And then the defensive coordinator, Pepper Johnson, the guy that's been on the Patriots staff for 14 years as a position coach, played for the Giants teams that won the Super Bowl. Norm Chow's a guy that we talk about coming back after a while. This is a guy that could have success. He's shown success with the quarterbacks. And then Pepper Johnson's a guy, I like him a lot, Coach, because he come from the Patriots. He has that good pedigree. These are guys that know how to win. And when you're talking about Winston Moss, he's a heck of a coach. He was assistant for the Green Bay Packers when they won a championship. But it's going to be interesting. And Norm Chow, though, that's a name I haven't heard in a while, Coach.
Norm, and Norm's another that's been all around. He's been everywhere. National Football League, college. Did a heck of a job at North Carolina State, one of the best jobs he did. But he's an outstanding football coach. Norm had a chance, an interesting little side study here. He's had a chance a couple of different times to be a head coach, and he's not done that. He's turned it down. He really just wants to be a coordinator and work with the offenses and not worry about the whole football team as a whole, defense and special teams. He just He wants to just concentrate on offense, and that's it. And he's a good offensive coordinator, good quarterback coach, well respected. So I would think that they're gonna certainly have him helping them as much as anybody in the league with their quarterback situation.
Yeah, just a couple guys to run through before we're up against a break here. Coach, when I look at it, New York Guardians head coach and offensive coordinator Kevin Gilbride. That's a big-name guy as well. Moving on, the Seattle Dragons head coach Jim Zorn. That's a guy that's got he's over 25 years of coaching experience. 19 as a quarterback coach. He's a member of the Seahawks Ring of Honor. He was the head coach of the Redskins. Another guy, Mike Riley. This is a two-time CFL Grey Cup champion. I mean, he coached at Oregon State. That's what I remember him for as well. At Nebraska also. Moving on to the last one here, Mark Trestman and the Tampa Bay Vipers. Mark Trestman, coach, he's won the Grey Cup, and then, of course, whatever that means, for when you talk about coaching as well. But this is a guy that has a lot of NFL experience. It's interesting he's got Tampa Bay Vipers. They're supposed to be a second favorite team to win this league. He's 12 years as an NFL OC. He had it first with scoring offense in the 49ers. He's had some good success. This is a good opportunity for him, and really for the Vipers right here, Coach. I just think that Mark Trestman's a guy that we don't hear enough about. I don't know your feelings about him, but I think he's a well-rounded coach when you look at experience.
I think you're right. You're right. He's been an offensive coordinator for many, many years. In fact, I was still coaching when he was an OC. So Mark has been around. He's been up and down, though, success and failure, to be honest with you. He's been a peaks and valley type coach. My guess is that he'll bring a very entertaining style to whatever team he's going to be with, and he'll do a good job. But my goodness, you are talking about an awful lot of experience. Also, Mike Riley, good gracious, Mike was in the World League at San Antonio when we were, and I almost hired Mike in the Canadian Football League. He's won 2 Grey Cups at Winnipeg years ago in the Canadian League. Coached at Oregon State, at San Diego, at just unbelievable, Nebraska. Mike's been around. He turned down the Alabama job years ago. A side story. Right. We'll talk about some side stories here as people may be interested in them. You don't hear about them often. But he was working for Jim Haslett as the defensive secondary coach at New Orleans, and was offered the Alabama job, but Mike didn't want that pressure, and he turned it down and took the Oregon State job. So anyway, Mike's a good guy. He's really a good guy, and I think a lot of the jobs that he's gotten are because people who hire coaches like to hire a good guy, and they like him. So he's always been in favor with the people doing the hiring, and looks like he has again.
Yeah, I didn't know that about Mike Riley. That's cool. I remember rooting against him as an Oregon fan, but he did a really good job. It seems like wherever he goes, he does a really good job. A well-respected guy, like you said. But listen, we're up against a break. When we come back, we're going to mention a couple of the big-name guys to look out for in the XFL. You're not going to want to miss it. You're listening to Talk Football with Coach K here on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text. Stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
There's only one place in town for the lowest prices and greatest selection of firearms. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range. Visit our fully stocked Gun Pro Shop for new and used firearms, accessories, and ammunition. Check out the Indoor Shooting Range. We offer rentals on guns, including fully automatic machine guns and silencers. Ladies, this is the safe place to learn how to use a gun. Plus, Tuesday is Ladies' Day. Women shoot for half price all day. The best place to buy firearms in Pensacola. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range. Highway 29 in Car City.
5-Hour Energy helps you get through your crazy on-the-go life. And now, it comes in 2 great tropical flavors, Strawberry Banana and Tropical Burst. They're delicious and can transport you to a tropical paradise. Try them both, then vote for your favorite at 5hewin.com. That's the number 5, hewin.com. You could be on the go to someplace you actually want to go. Go to 5hewin.com for details.
Look, chicken restaurants are nothing new. But if you're saying been there, done that, it tastes like chicken. Well, if your friends offer you a brand new convertible or a broken down station wagon with 3 wheels, do you say, hey, they're both cars? Well, the people have spoken. Mr. Pollo on 9th Avenue was voted top 100 places to eat in the country by Yelp at number 61. Making chicken great again, America. It's that good. Try it and you'll be hooked for life. The freshest ingredients and the perfect catering for any big party. Mr. Pollo. It means chicken.
I'm Troy Rafferty, and many of you know about my love for sports and my longtime support for our local high school athletes. One thing these fine young people have taught me over the years is this: whether it's on the ball field, in the classroom, or in a court of law, always work your hardest and achieve the best results possible. And that is the commitment we make to our clients and our community.
Levin Papantonio in Pensacola since 1955.
The weekend sports, the weekend ahead. Saturdays are live and local on Sports Call with Davis Allen and Justin Patrick.
I'm against the fans deciding the starters because even Taco Fall, he's not even in the NBA at the moment. He's playing in the G League, and yet he, based on votes, could possibly still be on the All-Star team.
It's sports talk with a lot of chill. Every Saturday from 11 to 1 on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Coming up on Sports Call this Saturday, we'll recap the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes finally went to Disney World. Boston Red Sox sending Mookie Betts and David Price to the Dodgers. Talk about payback. We'll talk about that and more on Sports Call with Davis and Justin on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back to Talk Football with Coach K. JP here with you alongside former NFL coach Kay Stevenson. Coach, we got about a minute left here. I want to run over some players just to get people familiar with maybe who you're going to be looking at. It's interesting when you look at the XFL. We talk about the star power. I'm going to go over the notable players here, of course. Antonio Callaway is a guy with the Browns that you may recognize. Cameron Artis-Payne, guy with the Panthers, a former Auburn running back. As long as on Auburn here, Sammy Coates, a wide receiver, made some big catches for him. Donnell Pumphrey, a guy that out of college set some running back records out of San Diego State. Keenan Reynolds, a former receiver with the Rams. Eli Rogers, this is a name that surprised me. This was a big-name guy for the Pittsburgh Steelers. When you look at quarterbacks, though, that's the guys we want to know. The DC Defenders, we have Cardell Jones. Landry Jones is the guy for Dallas Renegades. That's 2 big-name guys to keep your eye out on. And Aaron Murray, a former Georgia quarterback, is a Tampa Bay Vipers quarterback. So it's going to be interesting, Coach. I know we run out of time, but I'm ready to get the XFL start tomorrow and see what this is all about.
Yeah, it should be interesting, especially we'll talk about Jared Glanville next week.
Oh, I can't wait. All the stories you've already told me. But, hey, we appreciate you guys joining us. Make sure you join us Monday at 12 o'clock Same time, there you go. You're listening to Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 991 FM.
This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM and 99.1 FM, the only local station that talks sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From Gullick and Wingo to the Sports Drive with Chad Brillante. Plus, talk football with Coach K at noon, Sports Call every Saturday. If you'd like to partner with us as an advertiser or a promotional partner, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening